we will learn about 7 lessons that can make us good financial stewards. Number 1, acknowledge that money is a blessing from God. That is where it starts. Trouble begins when we confuse between the blessing and the blesser. The blesser has blessed you with money, but you elevate the position of the money and dwarf the position of the blesser. That is when trouble begins. That is when the words of Jesus that you cannot serve 2 masters come into play. Because then you begin to attract the wrath of God. The Old Testament reading told us clearly that He is the one who gives us power to make wealth. So you can imagine He has given you power, you have made some wealth, and you glorify the wealth, and you forget about Him. Number 2, embrace work. Laziness and wealth cannot fit in the same sentence. You know, nothing replaces the place of work in this world of wealth creation. I love that the Bible emphasizes work right from the Garden of Eden. There is something we must do. The Bible has told us that God gives us the power to make. Underline the word make. He does not give us wealth. He gives us the power to do what? To make. Let us love work. Let us be committed to the work that we have. If we do not have work, let us not get tired of seeking to find something that our hands can be doing. Unfortunately, many people pray for financial miracles and expect the miracles to find them sleeping. Utangoja sana. Proverbs 14:23, in all toil there is profit, but mere talk tends only to poverty. Number 3, plan your expenditure. Plan your expenditure. Budget before you spend your money. In another topic that I like speaking about, what I call counting the financial cost, I like drawing from the Gospel according to Luke chapter 14 and especially 28 to 30, where we see Jesus giving a physical example. The closest the Bible comes to teaching us about budgeting. And we hear the story of someone who wants to build a house, who wants to build a tower. And the Bible records that such a person, if they are wise, they will first sit, count the cost before they start. But if they started before they counted the cost, before they planned their expenditure, before they budgeted, they will start a building and the money will get finished before the building gets what? Finished. I'm sure you've seen many of those abandoned buildings that were once started and they stopped somewhere. Of course, there are many reasons why buildings stop, but one of them might be that resources got finished before the building got finished. Budgeting should happen before expenditure and not the other way around. You know, sometimes after we've spent our money, that's when we pick pen and paper. I don't know if you've ever arrested yourself with pen and paper, trying to remember how you used your money. Money that is already gone. And you try to remember very hard. I checked out 1,000 bob. I bought tea. 500 bob, and you write down 500 bob. Then I did this other thing, 200 bob, and then your head goes blank. You look at the account, there's no money. You look at your head, it has no explanation what has happened to the money. You scratch it, no answers. That is not even interesting. Interesting is what I hear you tell yourself after that. At least sikutumia vibaya. So haukutumia vibaya, but the money is already done what? It's gone. Number 4, beware of the trap of debt. Beware of the trap of debt. The trap of debt will slow you down. When you're trapped in debt like I was, everything in your life turns upside down. You know, we don't have capacity to declare debt absolutely bad or absolutely good. But the trap of debt has nothing good in it. When you're trapped in debt, you are in a situation where repayment of debt has become either difficult or impossible. You are in a situation where today is due date, you are asking yourself, sijui nilipe leo ama next week? Then there is trouble. Or you are wondering, sijui nilipe yote ama nilipe nusu? You know those thoughts? Then there is trouble. Beware of the trap of debt. You also need to be careful as you guarantee other people. The Bible was very careful to also warn us in Proverbs 22, 26 to 27 against guaranteeing people. And some of us do it very blindly. The Bible says if you do that, you will be responsible for those debts. If they fail to pay, the lender will even take your bed. So as you guarantee other people, be careful. Ask questions. Get to know those people. I like saying, when you guarantee, you have borrowed. Number 5, avoid wastefulness. Wastefulness is an enemy of financial progress. It's an enemy of stewardship. Misusing the resources that God has put in your hands is a dangerous thing. And I meet very many people who are struggling financially, trapped to debt in my one-on-one coaching sessions. But when you examine how they spend, how they use their resources, you realize there's a lot of wastefulness. It is usually said that all of us have a touch of wastefulness where money and resources are involved. But someone who is aware that wastefulness is dangerous begins to behave a bit different from someone who is not aware. So I'm making you aware that wastefulness is dangerous. In some of my other videos, I have said that there are some families that cook food fit for 16 people when there are only 4 in their households. They keep throwing away the remainder as leftovers. But on this other end, you will meet them crying of how things are difficult. But they are wasting food for 3 helpings every other mealtime. Sometimes when I help you audit your lifestyle, I have mentioned there are some people who are using home internet fit for running an office with 100 employees, but there are only 2 in the household. When I examine your usage, I realize you can make do with the smallest package without even noticing the difference. Chances are high the person selling internet, when they came to you, they gave you the available packages, they told you this one is the fastest. Before you click, it has clicked for you. You got excited. How much is the monthly fee? You were told an amount, 6,000, 5,000. You said, this I can afford. That time you were able to afford. Today you are screaming, things are tough. Some of us have subscribed to pay TV that we do not utilize. Proverbs 21:20. Wise people dwell in wealth, but foolish people waste their money as fast as they get it. Be counted amongst the wise. Number 6, save and invest. Out of your earnings, deliberately set aside a portion that you will call your own. In other words, I'm saying, do not eat everything. A part of all you earn should be yours to keep. Now, then I follow you to remind you that it's not enough to just keep. That as you keep, money shouldn't be left to sit idle. Send it somewhere where it can call for more. And that is what investment is all about. The use of money to create more money. That's why the master said, it would have been better for my money to sit in the bank. At least it would have earned some interest. While at it, as you save and invest, please avoid shortcuts. Avoid shortcuts. The reason scammers will always be here is because they know we have a weakness of loving shortcuts. That's why they come and tell you, why should you put your money in a place that will give you 12%, 15% per annum? Why don't you give me your money and I triple it in 2 months? Hata wewe ukisikia kichwa inaruka. They are appealing to your emotions. Financial stories are logical stories. So in your excitement, you go and break your savings account, you even go and borrow money and you pump to those people. Everywhere I have spoken about investment, I have said, those schemes are always working as long as it's not your money that is in them. The day you put your money in them, you who is here today, that is the day they collapse. When it is everyone else showing us on social media how they have made money, showing us M-Pesa messages, how money has come, and all those things, they are working. But when you put your money in them, that's when they do what? They collapse. Number 7, and the last tip for today. Connect with God. Connect with who? With God. He is the owner of everything. He is the one who has donated part of his power for us to take care of these resources to us. Consult him. He understands your money world better than you do. He knows the struggles you're going through. Talk to him. Connect with him. If there is one thing my struggles in debt did, is to pull me closer to God. There were times when things were tough. When Shylocks have said they're waiting for you downstairs. And they can get ruthless. It is worth mentioning that sometimes our financial struggles are because of our disobedience to God's teachings. The Old Testament reading that was given to us ended with a warning that we should not forget God. After he has done all these things to us, after he has given us the power to make wealth and all those other things, please let us not forget him.